Autobots, transform!
George 80s Transformer fan here, and we have the fourth and final limb that I will be reviewing. It is the Green Lion from Voltron 84 Classic Legendary Green Lion. And here is his packaging. Packaging is a little beat up from storage, and I've been sitting on this thing for 6-7 months now. This is made by Playmates, and it is now streaming on Netflix. The back of the box. Here is a little bio for Pidge. You can pause that and read that. And there is a little bit of the intro up there. You can pause that and read that. And you can see right here they form a 16-inch Voltron. I can't wait to see. That's why I bought it for the entire Voltron, not for the individual pieces. If you look here, he has a lot of silver on this guy that is not present in the toy. So product shots may actually vary. And here he has a lot of gunmetal gray that is not in the toy. Anyway, you can see the castle of lions off into the background. Alright, so I'm going to get this guy open, do my thing, unbox him, pull him out. He's just in a half a clamshell. One of his accessories is rolling around loose, and as you can see, it is not gunmetal gray. Which would have been cool, but it's okay. And inside his box, if you didn't see any reviews, and this is the only one you're only watching Green Lion. Some people's like, oh God, he's reviewing this again. He's talking about the same stuff. But some people haven't seen it, so here is the instructions that come with it. And here is a little catalog for products that they are selling to us. When I was a kid, these things mattered to me. When I had the Transformers catalog, I stared at that thing for hours. So this may have some more importance to somebody else other than me, but I don't have any connection to it. And as you can see, he is packaged with Voltron's shield along with his personal accessories. I'm going to pull this guy out of here. He has another tie there. I missed that. The scale of these guys is just amazing. Like, he's normally a little teeny tiny guy. I've never had a Green Lion this large. The larger scale is what I really like. He actually has some silver paint around his neck that could have went in other places, but they didn't, so it's cool. This is my least favorite lion, probably because I wasn't a fan of Pidge. Thought he was kind of whack as a kid. Well, I don't want to say whack. He just wasn't as cool as the rest. He was a little nerd. I don't know. Not knocking nerds. Not knocking nerds. But here is the Green Lion out of its packaging. And because I've already reviewed the Red Lion, and he's pretty much a palette swap, and he's just more rounded, molded, more round. So I'm not going to drag this review out. I'll just tell you right now, he's missing the number. Was he number 3? I think he was. He's missing a number and a little bit of detail. They could have hit it with a couple more paint apps, but then again, it wouldn't be at the price point it's at. A little bit of molded in detail in here, but nothing really spectacular. Other than that, he has some gold here. His paint looks pretty clean. This one eye could be a little bit better, but other than that, it looks pretty clean. Doesn't have that much paint in the first place. His jaw opens and springs back. It springs pretty good. Has a pretty good bite there. His head 360s, but he has no real neck movement, no side to side, and I don't believe his head detaches at all, which they could have thrown in there because that's kind of what the Voltron is famous for in the cartoon and toy wise. But that's okay. His tail retracts into his body. Well, you got to push it in there. And it comes out, it can spin around, and it's a softer plastic. He has the, I can't even call it waist articulation, but this is the elbow bend as the arm, which is present. Man, if he could have had a swivel back here too, that would have been great, but he doesn't. You can see the screw holes on this side. And not much. His legs articulation is, they're both articulated exactly the same. They come up. Well, this one goes back, but you can bring it up about that far in the front. They have the same ratchet at what would be the shoulder joint. The same thing at the knee on both, and the same at the foot. Nothing at the claw. On his rear and front legs share the same articulation. It's just hindered by the molding of the toy. So I'm going to move on to his weapons. He has this little missile dagger pod. Much like the yellow lion, he can rotate it and fire. They would materialize this thing out of nowhere. Then he has the dagger, which his is pretty sweet. Double-bladed Darth Maul style. Has a peg right there, and it's painted. All their weapons, their individual lion weapons, are painted to match their bodies. It pegs in the roof of his mouth just there. And there he has his weapon, and he can turn his head. And he can slash and cut. It's pretty cool. I don't see myself displaying it that way, but that's cool. You could take this thing. I think this thing, it would come off and fly on his own too. Attach it to his shoulder. His missile pod. Attach the missile. Alright, his spring feels pretty. I just shot myself in the face with it. Yeah, it feels pretty strong. Alright. Wow, I mean, I just shot myself in the face. Let's see how strong it is. Get this guy over here. It's not as strong as some of the others, but it's pretty strong. Give it one more shot. Put it on his back leg, and you can plug it into all 4 legs if you wish. Alright. I'm over here. See if I get my aim good. See how high we can get it up. And I missed my hand, but it went pretty far. It went pretty far. It's pretty cool. His legs, and you can get him into all the positions, the crouching, sitting on his butt type thing. Get his feet down, and there he is in a sitting position. Because his neck is static, you can't like bend it down a little bit, which they could have just added just a little bit. Then again, we might not have it. It might not be what it is. While I'm taking a look at him sitting down, his design, this is why I don't like him, because his design, he looks the most like a limb. You know what I mean? Not exactly like a humanoid arm, but he looks the most like he's designed to be something else. The rest of them can pass for lions, and then they turn to the arm, but he looks like he's going to be something else, because like they could have rounded his butt a little bit more to give it a little bit more animal type look, a little bit more lion feel, but it looks like he's totally intended to be an arm or limb or whatever. And while I have him out, I'm going to bring out the rest of the guys that I reviewed so far. The other arm, the right arm, the red lion, the yellow lion, and the blue lion, while they're all in this sitting position. I'm going to bring in the 30th anniversary version, and this thing looks and feels so tiny now after holding these figures. Like I'm going to break this little damn thing, and it makes me wonder how I paid $200 for this. I got it on clearance from Big Bad, but anyway. Here he is side by side with this piece, and this is pretty much the childhood version size, the Matchbox and the other ones, the Bandai. This is pretty much the size they are, and he's dwarfing this thing. Alright, I want to take a look at what makes these things similar. He has the red square in the middle of his back. Obviously the paint jobs are different. This is all plastic. This has the green shimmering fleck to it. And he's missing the three over here, his eyes, his mouth and face. Actually, this little bolt is a lot more detailed than this one. He just has a smudge on the side of his face, which disappoints me now. He has the little circular part on the side of his mouth like the old figures that this one doesn't have. Side of the figure, some of the detail is sort of similar in there. Not really. So there is the Green Lion. And if you were just looking for just one figure just to grab one, I probably wouldn't suggest this one. I suggest buying the set. They're meant to be the set, meant to be Voltron. He's alright by himself. He's my least favorite. So he's on clearance at retail right now if you can pick him up. And I am George, the 80s Transformer fan. Thank you for watching another tour review. I'll see you soon. Maybe in a bonus review.
Autobots, transform!
What's up, everybody? It's bonus review time. All bets are off. I can do whatever I want to in this content. Here is the Green Lion that I am bonus reviewing. This is the Netflix version made by Playmates. Had this thing for over a year and a half. Finally getting around to it, getting it out of the box. Here is the back of the box. Shows you its firing feature, vine beam, and it shows you the pilot that is not that well painted. Maybe that's another toy. Show you the cartoon pilot here. There's no little bit of a bio, bottom of the box, side of the box, and here he is, and here I am, and we're going inside this. I'm just gonna smash it, get inside, pull it out, and he has the exact same type catalog and instructions deal that you've seen. If you didn't see, watch my other reviews. I'm not doing that again. Get this guy out of here. Okay, get this guy out of his box. Little missile accessory. I guess the blue translucent plastic accessory to these guys is because they have like that blue glow type thing going on. I think that's what it is. Okay, so we have the Green Lion out of his packaging, and immediately you notice this big thing on his back. I'm assuming it's Voltron shield. I don't know if that's a V or a Y. And yeah, it is removable. It bugs me sitting up there. I don't know if it's like on there all the time in a cartoon, but that bugs me just a little bit. So I guess I can leave it on for right now and take a look at this figure. He has a little blue on the sides of his mouth, that little blue glowing thing that these guys have. Blue at the end of his tail, some yellow paint here. Again, the paint on these figures isn't that great. It's not that bad either, and probably because it isn't that much. Has some silver on his face, some white, and some black. His eyes are yellow, trimmed in black. And when I first opened him up, I had the most trouble standing this guy out of any of them because his feet are really like gummy, squishy, and yeah, I wonder why they just didn't make the feet the same damn plastic as the rest of the figure. And I don't know if it's the shield on the back, but he sits kind of goofy. I don't know. But here he is. He doesn't have that much molded in detail on him. Doesn't have like the little blue in here that some of the other guys have. I don't know if mine's just missing. The rest of the guys are either blue or black right here. Matter of fact, let me just show you now. Here is the Red Lion. I don't know if that paint app is just missing there, but he has that blue in there, and there's nothing in there. And here is the Blue Lion. Did I say blue once? Brought the red one. He has black in there. The Yellow Lion, he has black painted in there. So I think maybe mine just got missed in the paint application. I have toys have that get missed before. So anyway, I'm going to get this guy all piloted up. Here is his pilot. Pitch, that is the girl pretending to be a guy, or I don't know if she's still pretending, but the last episode I saw, she was pretending. And there, and they could have painted it way better than this. But anyway, she flies to her lion, docks here. It kind of sits in these little slots comfortably. It's a very soft, it's a soft gummy plastic like the feet. Very squishy. goes in there. So the only thing you got to worry about is a little paint coming off, which might be a good thing. I might need to paint it myself. And you won't break this thing. Losing it and paint coming off is the only problem you might have out of that. Goes right in there. And we can get down to fighting. The tail is a softer plastic too. It spins around 360, goes in, goes out. And there is the Green Lion pretty much. And again, somehow the Green Lion, even in this version, makes it as my least favorite figure. It has the waist articulation here via the arm swivel. His head 360s. You hear the ratchet in there. Sounds great. Put it back. There's no neck movement. And it could have clearly put something in there, even as the hand. It'd be a wrist swivel or wrist joint. His mouth opens and closes. He has a huge opening. Looks like he has some type of cannon in there, but huge opening compared to some of the other guys, and a very strong snapback. Get to his weaponry. He has this huge cannon, and their weapons look so familiar to me from some other little sci-fi. I can't really think of it, but it looks like this thing plugs in here, or maybe not. Yep, plugs in there. It fits to the molding right there. All right, you take this spiraling missile that has like a molded spiral in it. I don't know, looks like it's a water cannon, and plug it right in here. In this one, most of the guys' buttons are hidden or very well molded where you really can't tell it's a button, but you can clearly tell this is a button. Get this guy to fire a missile. See how well it fires. Let me adjust the camera a little bit so you can see it go off. And it's about that strong. So I'm fiddling around with this thing, and it's just bothering me. The large portion here in the rear legs, I don't know if I have it positioned correctly, but it's just bothering me because they're so much longer than these legs. I'm assuming they're meant to be bent and crouched like this, but they can extend pretty far depending on how you have them. And like I said, they probably shouldn't go this way, but he has a lot of leg back here. You know what I mean? It's like it's tiny back here, and then the legs are long, and it's bulky here, and these legs are short. It's just bothering me. I don't know. Maybe, you know, I know somebody probably watching it that knows the cartoon better than me. Like the lions don't sit like that or position like that. But man, then finally, anyway, the last accessory is this sword, and I'm assuming it connects to the blue sword, but we'll have to wait till the merger video to see that because it's a slot right there. And that is his final accessory. So anyway, to get him a little bit of a comparison, bring out the Green Lion here from the 84 version. And these guys are totally different. Two different greens. The silver is the same. And the gray, nope, the gray plastic is slightly, no, just the light. The gray plastic is the same. The greens are different. The silver is the same. This guy doesn't have any black. This guy does. These guys seem to be very well armored. Like they could take more of a beating than this Voltron. Oh, and another thing that I do like that I saw on a Netflix cartoon, I keep saying I'm really not that into it, that their lions seem to be sentient, which is pretty cool. Every now and then they have like a little nod to. I haven't gone that far, so if you watching it now and then you're like, well, of course they do this and that. I don't know. I saw most of the first season, but the lions seem to be alive, you know, and they can assist the pilots, paladins, whatever they're called, and which is pretty cool. I'm bringing in his palette swap, his other arm mate. Show you the differences between these guys. Completely different head sculpt, just like the original versions, but they share the same legs and paws. Underneath, the trap door is the same. The bottom of the figure is the same, exactly the same, identical. The neck is the same in there, right here, but the top shell part is different, and the rear butt part is different. Is the same, but only difference is it has Okay, and real quick, here are all 4 lions side by side, and it's pretty cool to see these guys this close in scale, where you just don't think, okay, these are the arms and these are the legs, but Voltron, that, but just to look at them, you can't tell like which guy would go or whatever, because they're very close in scale, and I really like that, except for this like dump truck hood right here. It's an armor thing on that guy. But anyway, I am George the 80s Transformer fan. Thank you for watching my toy review, and the finale is coming soon.